We begin tonight with concerns about a home on the northeast side of Indianapolis. 2 homicides in 1 month at this same address. Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 6 o'clock. Our Chase Howell has been talking with neighbors and police. So Chase, what do we know about this recent death?
What we know right now is a man's decomposing body was found behind this home on Monday. Neighbors in the area tell me they were smelling something foul over the last couple weeks and thought it was maybe a dead animal in the woods. But to their surprise, it was a man who had been shot to death and left to rot. Those driving to their homes on Leland Avenue were greeted by the Marion County coroner and police Monday afternoon. Investigators could be seen in the backyard of a home taking pictures and collecting evidence near a decomposing body. A month earlier, a similar scene at the same home. IMPD says they found a man shot to death in his truck. So I asked IMPD officer Tommy Thompson if it's possible investigators may have missed the body when investigating that deadly shooting.
Based on the investigation that you're referencing, the previous investigation at this location, that is not a possibility, and that has been taken out of any realm of possibility, thankfully.
Neighbors I spoke to in the area say no one has lived in that house for years, well besides those living there illegally. They say even with the boarded up windows and the padlocked front door, people still make their way inside. Now, who owns the home? Well, according to property records, an LLC. As far as where it's located, its address is based in New York, New York.
I'm sure our community does see that type of instance where there's landholders that may not reside in the state, but that's not illegal, and that's where, again, we ask that if you see individuals on site that shouldn't be there, that you contact the IMPD so we can make sure those individuals are removed and that any action that is necessary is taken.
And while all properties being managed from out-of-state landlords aren't always a problem, IMPD does say they've responded to this home several times in the last year. The Bureau of Nuisance Abatement says its workers have too. Beyond complaints about high grass, BNS was called on August 5th after a person reported to the Mayor's Action Center that the front door to the home had been kicked in. After the owner was notified, BNS says a compliance check on August 21st showed the owner had boarded up and secured the property. Whether you're here on Leland Avenue or somewhere else in the city for that matter, dealing with a vacant or unsafe building, you can report it to the city's Unsafe Boarding Program. You can find a link to that in this story on WTHR.com. Reporting here in Indianapolis, Chase Howell, 13 News.
Now at this hour, police have not arrested anyone in this latest investigation. Tonight, IMPD is asking for your help finding that shooter. So if you have any leads, please call IMPD. I want to show you the scene over Tel Aviv tonight as Iran launched nearly 200 missiles at Israel. Israeli authorities tonight are saying most of these missiles were intercepted and there were no injuries, but people were sent scrambling to bomb shelters in the early evening. Here in Indianapolis, the local Jewish community is watching this escalation of the conflict with great concern. Our Rich and I talked with local leaders this afternoon right after this attack. Rich?
Scott, a few people I talked to today were actually in communication with family and friends in Israel when those people received the message to evacuate their homes and get to a bomb shelter. The offices of the Jewish Federation of Greater Indianapolis are at the Jewish Community Center on the north side. The Federation reports about 18,000 Jews in Indianapolis in this area and 25,000 across the state. Jewish leaders say that Israel must have the support of the United States for the long-term security of the Jewish state.
Israel's responsibility is to the safety and security of its people. And so, our entire Jewish community, I think, feels very strongly that we continue to support Israel's actions to ensure that the citizens of Israel are able to live their lives in peace and safety and security.
This conflict began on October 7th of last year when Hamas attacked and killed more than, or almost that is, 1,200 civilians in Israel. Local Jewish organizations were already preparing for a Remembrance Monday. That ceremony is at 7 o'clock at Indianapolis Hebrew Congregation. And now those ceremonies, Scott, will be under the threat of a more widespread war in the Middle East. And tomorrow at sunset begins Rosh Hashanah. That's the two-day celebration of the Jewish New Year.
All right, Rich Nye, thanks for that report. So in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, a lot of Hoosiers are working to help storm victims to the south. That includes a group of pilots delivering donations to North Carolina. Jenny Runovich tonight shows us the effort by air at Columbus Municipal Airport.
This airport is now the staging area for a constant stream of disaster relief donations, canned goods, toiletries, pet food, baby formula. And all of it is being packed onto planes owned by Hoosiers to be flown to North Carolina. The hurricane washed out so many roads there that air travel is key to helping people in need. So the Civilian Crisis Response Team, a nonprofit in Bartholomew County, posted on Facebook asking for pilots to deliver donations to Asheville. They thought they'd get a handful and ended up with 100. Jules Momini from Evansville is one of them. He loaded up his Mooney Ranger for the mission.
There's a package of silverware because some people that lost their whole house, they don't have anything to eat with. So whatever we can stick in here. The plane before me was carrying, toilet paper and everything else plus food.
They put aside all of their differences, and all they're caring about is, how do I help my neighbors, right? And in this case, our neighbors just happen to be a few states away.
If you'd like to help with donations, or you're a pilot and want to help with a plane, we have info right now on WTHR.com. In Columbus, Jenny Renovich, 13 News.
And we're seeing a handful of organizations heading to some of the hardest hit areas, sending supplies and support. If you'd like to get involved, you can scan this QR code. It's going to take you to our web story with a list of organizations accepting donations and volunteer help. You can also go to WTHR.com/SeenOn13. Tonight at 6, AES Indiana is telling us they have restored power to almost all of the customers who were impacted by the remnants of Helene that swept through last Friday. Only about 50 customers are still impacted and without electricity. AES tells us they plan to have that power restored sometime later this evening. Angela?
Scott, a cold front moving in now. It's breezy, it's turning colder, and ahead of the front we have a few spotty showers. Take you to radar some of the steadier rain coming out of Brown County into Columbus and Bartholomew County right now along Interstate 65. A few showers pushing east of Bedford and south to Mitchell. We've got a few showers over toward Connorsville into Richmond as well. This will move out later this evening. Skies start to clear. We will drop into the 50s by 9 o'clock and local low temperatures in the 40s early Wednesday morning. You'll need the sweatshirt or the jacket at the bus stop. Nothing weather-wise to slow you down tomorrow morning. A cool start, sunshine and 70 tomorrow afternoon.
All right, Angela, thanks so much. Indigo will roll out its second rapid bus transit line in less than 2 weeks. The Purple Line will connect downtown Indianapolis to the city of Lawrence. Our Karen Campbell joins us tonight with what you need to know.
One feature Indigo is really pushing, making it faster for you to pay before you ride. It's called the MyKey app. It's an app in your cell phone, and you can use your cell phone to buy your ticket, scan the QR code at a validation machine, and then hop on board. The Purple Line takes riders from downtown, north to Meridian, down 38th Street to Post Road, and up to Fort Bend and Ivy Tech in Lawrence. Drivers will see new stoplights and reduced travel lanes, and riders can now travel farther and faster.
We wanted to make sure that these lines were running through our most densely populated areas. So this is within walking distance of jobs and walking distance of people that primarily fall more on the lower income side. So these are people who maybe don't have a car in their household and rely on transit to be able to get from point A to point B.
Indigo's Purple Line opens on Sunday, October 13th. In Indianapolis, I'm Karen Campbell, 13 News.
City leaders just announced the first meeting for the new Vision Zero Task Force. Their goal is to come up with a plan to improve pedestrian and bicyclist safety across our city. The dream is to eliminate all pedestrian traffic deaths by the year 2035. This task force is comprised of 15 appointees, including city county councilors and community stakeholders. The group's first meeting is set for October 23rd. That's when they'll be laying out actionable steps to implement that proposal.